and welcome to episode 30 of Not Quite Nerds. Episode 30.
It's a lot.
We did it.
Isn't it, right? That's crazy. That's a crazy amount of time that we've devoted to talking to strangers on the internet.
Are we really talking to them? We're just talking to ourselves and hope they want to join us.
You're right. You're right. And I had some quite positive feedback this week from a colleague in work. Also, I quite like listening to it because you guys talk about normal stuff. And I was like, that's because we're pretty normal.
Yeah.
Boring, normal.
Did I tell you guys that my youngest, Alana, my youngest sister, listened?
No.
Yeah,
No.
she listened. She listened to the Comic-Con episode, and she goes, listening to the three of you is just like listening to three of you in real life. Like,
I mean, that's the idea, isn't it, though? I mean, that's the whole point.
I mean, can she write that on Apple, please? And
Yeah, that would be great.
Amazon Music. That's the type of review that we're really looking for.
Yeah.
So, to the Good Turk, please go and write that on the. Yeah.
So is she still the good Turk? Let's be honest.
No, I mean, so I always called her the Good Turk because she was the smart Turk. She was the one that didn't get caught.
Yeah, but
So, I mean, good was there a terminology for you don't get in trouble because you're smart enough to learn from your sister's mistakes and not get caught doing those things. Accurate.
Very.
who had the most fun?
I mean, she seemed like she was having a pretty good time.
Yeah.
She wouldn't get him caught.
I definitely had more fun.
Well, you know, I think you had a better cohort of people to hang out with.
True. That's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so last off, we left Mallory, and she was knee deep in her Mallory's Marvel madness.
I was
so
miserable in it.
we're going to catch up with where Mallory's at with that. What did I add to the running order there? Stranger Things, First Shadow. I managed to catch that this week, so we can have a chat about that. And Mallory can mute herself again, like when it's for those who don't get what happens before we press record. And then I've got a question for you guys. So we'll ask the question and see where we go from there. So yes, you were miserable the last time off. Talk us through it.
Well, that was last week. So we've now moved forward onto bigger and better things. So in the last week, I have watched all of Daredevil season 3 and all of the Runaways season 2. I'm pretty good because they were both fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a really good week for me.
Okay.
I have to say, I did truly enjoy the text message that we received a couple of days ago, which was just like, just cherries on top of the sun.
I was going to say, can we switch this up? Can we do Daredevil first then? And, sorry, can we do the Runaways first and save the good stuff for last? That was the thought process on that. But absolutely, I got that while I was in the theater, and I was like, I turned to Gemma and I was like, Mallory's just sent me a message about somebody's mum being a nun. I was really confused, and it was only when I left I was like, oh, now it makes sense. I was like, so yeah. Anyway, the Runaway season 2. So it keeps appearing on my Disney feed because it's there.
Me too.
And I can watch it, and I was just like, do I ever get around to watching it? I enjoyed the way the first one finished, but I didn't feel like it ever like really peaked or got anywhere. It wasn't gripping TV. So tell us about season 2.
So season 1 ends with them becoming the Runaways. They have run away. And season 2 picks up literally 24 hours later. And it's just like, it takes place the course of a couple weeks. You find out more about who, I wouldn't call him Julian, but that's not right. It's Julian McMahon, but Jonah, who Jonah is, who was like the big bad in season 1. He's still there in season 2. I really enjoyed season 2. I might have enjoyed season 2 more than I enjoyed season 1. Where the cliffhanger at the end of season 2, I was like, no, this can't be it. This cannot be the cliffhanger. But the next episode was season 3. So I'm glad that they did get a season 3. I know we'd already talked about it. I knew there was a season 3 because there is the Cloak and Dagger crossover. So it was really good. Needs more James Marsters. But I think everything needs more James Marsters, personally. It was good. More dinosaurs, more powers, more reality of superheroes, which I think is why I'm liking the Runaways. because it seems like if these things were real, that we talk about this with The Boys. The Boys seems like that's reality, and not like, Marvel kind of gets, very far-fetched, very alien, very sciencey, and I feel like Runaways is a little more realistic, and I think that's why I like it. And the parents, I think, get worse this season. I know, Matt, that was one of your issues. You thought in the comics they seem worse than they were in season 1. And I think they do get worse in season 2, but I think it's because they're trying to get their kids back. It's almost like a natural progression rather than just like you wake up one day and your parents are evil.
Okay. What's interesting from what you've said there is the reason I loved Wonder Man is because it's reality. It's a superhero.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and you've just said that the Runaways does the same thing, so I am going to have to go and watch the Runaways season 2 now, aren't I? Smallville will have to go on hold. I'm 3.5 seasons into Smallville, but I'll have to put that on hold so I can watch 8 episodes of the Runaways or 10 episodes.
It's 13 episodes.
Back to 13.
Wow!
But this wasn't Netflix. Was this Hulu?
It was Hulu.
It was a Hulu show.
But season 1 was 10 episodes. Season 2 was 13. So I think because it's such a good. My guess is that because it's such a good reaction from season 1, that's why they ordered more.
Okay. But then that's it, right? They didn't make
There's a 3rd season.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah. Hogan Dagger was only 2.
That's what I thought. Okay, I was getting those two confused because those are 2 shows that I never gave the time of day.
Don't give Cloak and Dagger the time of day.
I didn't plan on it after our comments from the last couple of episodes. Trust me, that is like at the bottom of the barrel. I'll watch Green Lantern before I watch that.
Definitely check out Runaways, though. I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying to think which was a bigger cliffhanger. This season 2 of Runaways or season 2 of Iron Fist?
Ooh.
I feel like...
You know what the difference is there, though? We get a season 3.
Right. I think that's why I was like... That's why I think my initial instinct is that season 2 of Runaways is the bigger cliffhanger because I know it's coming. Whereas season 2 of Iron Fist, because I knew it wasn't coming, I was able to kind of be like, okay, this sucks, but I'm moving on. Whereas now all I want to do is get to season 3 of The Runaways.
And I'm looking, so season 3 of The Runaways is 10 things away. It's number 90 on the list.
Long time.
The comment seems to take place post-snap, mostly.
Okay.
Oh, it is?
In between? I mean, I didn't write that. That's from the internet.
So that's interesting in itself. So there's intrigue. There's now a cliffhanger inside the cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to get to that one. Okay.
So Mal, what would you rate this?
What did I rate season 1?
So you rated season 1 a 7.5.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I definitely think it's better than season 1.
Okay. That's usually kind of rare that the second season is better. At least based upon most things. Usually the sequel, I mean, I don't know if it's really called a sequel if it's a season of a show, but usually it's not as good. But
I think it's because season 1, they had to kind of set up what the story is about. Mm-hmm. So you were still getting introduced to everybody. And season 2, you knew who they were. They were just kind of growing into their own, and it was already established. And I think that's why I liked it better. And so you get the kids being kids. Like you have a 14-year-old who's upset every time something happens, and you kind of want to shake her and be like, stop crying. But that's what a 14-year-old would do. And then you have the other kids who are kind of being led by their hormones, which is what kids would do. So I don't know. It just seems, I liked it.
Okay. I'm definitely intrigued by that. And I didn't rate season 1. I was just thinking about it there as highly as you did. I would probably give it a 6, which is enough to make me go back and think, okay, I'll give it a chance. But based on the praise that you've just delivered, it's going to happen. And that's what we want. That was the whole point of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
To have those conversations.
I'm here to introduce you guys to things you might not have seen before and steer you away from the really bad stuff.
I was going to say, you're here to save us time by putting in the work first. so we don't have to do Cloak and Dagger season 2. But, Runaway season 2 is a should watch. Okay. Must watch or should watch?
should watch.
Okay.
Only because I don't think I'd be shocked if Runaways actually impacts Doomsday at all.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, do you see the Runaways as a team being part of the MCU proper, or is it kind of running its own course kind of thing?
So I'd like to see them in, like, stop biting me. I'd like to see them in like the bigger MCU because they're definitely a team. Like they all have different abilities and powers and things.
Like the Young Avengers type scenario. Like
I think they're different than the Young Avengers. Like okay. I think that it'd be a good crossover with the Young Avengers, but I don't think they should be part of the Young Avengers. I think it'd be interesting to see because they're a little grittier than the Avengers, which is interesting because they're rich kids, so they shouldn't be gritty. But because they're just kind of doing things on their own. That's where the grit comes from.
It'll be interesting because actually, Wonder Man would be a good place for them to type of appear because that's a West Coast LA based thing. So
that's true.
Yeah, so that could fit somewhere. But again, the same question: do we think Wonder Man's going to show up in Doomsday?
I mean, you don't get to see. Well, I don't want to spoil it for Mal because Mal hasn't gotten there yet. So I'm gonna withhold my statement.
Break the laptop again.
But you don't get to see a lot of what he can do fully in that show. You only get a couple of glimpses, I feel like, of it. So I feel like his overall his powers or his abilities are not fully fleshed out, at least to the viewer. So I mean, that could be something that would be fun to see him really kind of be Wonder Man, you know, and something else.
I think what we've got to get to with the Marvel Universe is the ability to have films or shows that you don't have to have consumed something else for. Do you know, characters that you can follow, much like the comic books, where you don't have to read every single comic book that Marvel release, but you read something that a writer's doing because the writer brings you to a character. Or, you know, you read Squirrel Girl because it's supremely silly and out there, but it's actually quite cleverly done. And I think that's where we need to get to with the Marvel for stuff, where people stop treating it as Marvel and start treating it as a TV show first or a film first, and then going, oh, actually, this is part of this shared universe. But it's only acknowledged because Rock's on a present, or it's only acknowledged because this person's, you know, the Steve Rogers musical is in the background.
Right.
Those scripted moments.
And I think that's where we were talking about many podcasts ago of trying to consume these films as a film first versus a superhero Marvel thing. Yeah. You know, whether it's Shang-Chi is a kind of kung fu type movie with a fantastical element, or you have, you know, Winter Soldier, which is really just, you know, a war movie. Really, it's and just kind of getting back to just actual like the substance of a film versus it's just, you know, a spectacle, you know, superhero type, you know.
But I mean, as soon as people get to that point, they'll stop thinking, oh, we have to build towards an Avengers movie. And then what you can have is an Avengers movie where the team's trading in and out. Captain America's fully retired. Iron Man doesn't exist anymore. So, you know, we've got Wanda leading the team, or we've got Daredevil leading the team, or Spider-Man. And that team changes depending on the movie rather than big event movie. That's into is we have to lead towards this event. So all storylines have to lead towards this event, and that's where we're going, and that's the event we're building. And actually, what you want is just a Wonder Man.
Yeah, and I think you've shown that it can work obviously in a comic book, but I don't think they've done a great job yet of bringing that to the screen. You know, because you and I both know that there have been different iterations of the Avengers. You know, we've kind of seen that in the movies, but it hasn't been fully fleshed out yet. You know, there have been different people who've joined up with the Defenders. This hasn't always been a certain number of people, hasn't always been a certain crew. You know, the X-Men, like that also has been fluid. I mean, you have people like Wolverine and Cyclops and Storm who've always been kind of part of it, but there have been other groups that have kind of taken on that kind of X-Men mantle.
I mean, Kitty Pryde's led it for a while there, and then she's gone off into space, married Star-Lord, and being part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like that's what they need to build towards, is this idea that characters can transition between different franchises and different stories, and they don't. I suppose what I'm trying to say is they don't all have to build to an event. They can be a good product and a good film and a good story told in a way that it's told, and then thanks very much, next story.
And I feel like they started going that way with Thor, with him kind of being kind of joining up with the Guardians, but then they that was just a little bit during Love and Thunder, wasn't it? It was just a little. It was like that first 10 minutes or first 10-minute like a kind of like a prologue type of thing of him going through his.
I think that was an accounting trace, though. They were like, we can't make a movie with all the Guardians and Chris Hemsworth.
That's a lot of CGI, to be fair. That's true.
But I feel like that was kind of the Runaways. Like, it really is its own bubble.
Yeah.
And so, like, that doesn't have to ever come back to, the bigger Marvel universe. I love a good crossover. And so if they popped up somewhere, I think that'd be cute. But I don't think they have to be in the Avengers films. I think, it makes sense to have them cross paths with Wonder Man. I think that's cute. And that's
even Young Avengers. Like, we know that there's a crossover in season 3, but if they ever get Vita Young Avengers off the show, at this point, they'll be there.
They'll be the middle-aged Avengers.
Yeah, like that concept of having the younger cast come together, team up, or fight, get into a situation where they're working against each other before they realize they need to team up, and which is a comic book thing to do. We all know what's going to happen, but we want to see those characters interact. We knew what was going to happen in Deadpool and Wolverine, but we wanted to see those characters interact. So, okay, so that leads us straight into Daredevil season 3, which I think Mallory might rate as her worst of all the TV shows ever. Based on,
I think it might be the first one to get a big fat goose egg.
Yeah. I know. I did break the rule I have,
which is
to not contact you guys during the week about what I'm watching. I remember the only time I came close was during Cloak and Dagger season 2, where I stayed from my eyes to be like, please, pretty please, can I skip this?
To be fair, it was just one line.
It was, but it was so good that I couldn't wait until today. So I'm watching Daredevil. Statute of Limitations is passed. I'm giving away spoilers. I don't care.
Yeah.
We already are on a reboot of Daredevil, so spoilers are fair game. So middle of season 3, you find out that this mean, nasty nun is taking care of Matt Murdock, who has gotten out of the sewer following the Defenders, is his mother. And the way he finds out is
Maggie Murdock. Yeah.
Absolutely heartbreaking. And I text you too, going, the nun is his mom. Oh my God. I did not see that coming. I don't know if that's part of the comics and you guys knew it. I had no idea. It wasn't even on my radar. And that's the stuff I love, because I sometimes am good at guessing things. And I try not to be, because I like to be in the moment. And that was such a jaw drop moment that I was like, I can't not text you guys. I need somebody else to be in this moment with me.
Yeah.
Interesting, because you've approached this.
Neither of you two were there until the next morning.
Sorry. It's interesting because I knew what they were building towards, but I was excited to see it. It was almost like I throw it all the way back to sitting in the cinema with Luch and watching Thor the very first time and going that Hawkeye was going to make an appearance, and they showed
it was like that,
and then he reaches for the bow, and I'm like, oh my god. And that's what I sort of got from the Daredevil. Less of the excited that way, but more of the, oh my god, we're going to get this reveal. It is coming. It's coming towards us now. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see that even from your perspective, not knowing what the background in the story was, that you still got that great reveal, and it still had the right impact on you.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason why I feel like I anticipated it in season 3, and the only reason I anticipated it was because of Max, because I did not read a whole lot of Daredevil until I met Max, and it was always then known to me just through various conversations that we've had over the last decade plus that Matt Murdock's mom was a nun. And so when it's revealed that there is this nun that's been taking care of him, I'm like, that's got to be his mom. It has to be. That's the only thing that makes sense. But what I found most interesting about that, and I don't want to take your thunder, Mal, was the relationship between the priest and Maggie Murdock. Like how he knew, and that reveal to Matt was like a devastating blow. Like this guy that he's been his confidant, essentially, his conscience to a certain degree, for years and years and years, had this secret that he knew. That's something that has been troubling Matt since he was a child, and didn't tell him. Like that body blow, I feel like was just not. I'm going to use the word satisfying, but I don't mean it that way. Like it was just like just seeing that how hurt he was from that.
Which is interesting because actually you'd think as a Catholic priest, they probably are sitting in confessional, hearing somebody confess to something and knowing that their partner is sitting across the from them. Do you know what I mean? Like they probably are dealing with a lot of that where they can't share that information.
You know, and that's an interesting perspective, you know, not being a very religious person myself, but like, I mean, as a priest, you know, sitting in those confessionals, I would have to assume they hear a lot of things that, you know, and they probably know a lot of the people that things are being said about, and being able to keep that.
You would assume they know the voices of the vast majority of their congregation, so.
You know, I would assume so. I mean, granted, he is a priest in a, you know, Hell's Kitchen church. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who are coming through there, but I feel like he was the type of character that he would know the folks.
Yeah.
If there are people coming to confession, he knows who they are.
I think of all the things in Daredevil, the most unrealistic is that this priest has been serving in that church for that period of time, but also serving me. I mean, like, that's the type of thing that you'd be like, whoa, no, they've moved her on. They've moved her on. And he's not done anything to be moved on. I mean, that's questionable in itself within the Catholic one.
So the other thing that they didn't talk about when they had this revelation, which I clocked, is that his mom raised him. Like after he went to the orphanage, he was the one raising him. She's still in the orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
She got to watch him grow. And I understand, like I could definitely understand like the betrayal he was feeling that nobody ever told him. But there should have been some sort of like comfort in knowing that she was always there.
Yeah.
I mean, she was in a, but not in the way I think that anyone would have really wanted. You know what I mean? Like not in a way. It's good to know that she was there as a presence, and I think that, you know, third party perspective, you can appreciate that, but putting yourself, I think, in Matt's shoes, you know, that's a hard thing. You know,
she clothed him, she disciplined him. Like, what did she do? That another would have done differently, other than
on your identity by revealing that she was his mum. He's no longer an orphan, and he's been an orphan all of his life. She stole his identity. His whole motivation for becoming the hero he was he's got no parents to raise him, and he's done it all of his own back, and his moral compass. Actually, all of that's a lie. His mum's been there holding his hand the entire time.
What if she wasn't his mum? Someone's still raising him.
Yeah, well.
Baby.
Well, we'll see. Okay, so the tiniest part of that whole season got a reaction out of you. Let's talk about
it. I thought it was really, I liked it. I really liked it. All right, and I did have a qualm with the season. Cool. Okay, so end of Defenders. Everybody thinks Matt Murdock is dead. Everyone who knows Matt Murdock thinks Matt Murdock is dead. Everyone who knows Daredevil thinks Daredevil is dead. Then you have Poindexter running around pretending to be Daredevil. It's all over the news. Where are the Defenders going? Wait a second. Are friends alive? Or somebody is out here like impersonating him? We should probably check this out.
I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due, because I 1000% agree with you. Whether it was the entire Defenders, whether it was Jessica Jones, who I think had the closest connection to Matt Murdock, the fact that we don't get a one-episode cameo of that, I do think is, again, talking about missed opportunities. I think that is one. But you're right. I mean, it's not like the news in Hell's Kitchen just stays in Hell's Kitchen and doesn't get to the rest of the island. Like, it's everywhere. But yeah, you're not wrong, especially because you see that in in Iron Fist. You see it especially in Luke Cage season 2 when him and Iron Fist are talking, when Luke Cage and him are talking. I made a promise to Matt to protect the city, all this other stuff, and then to obviously we know that Daredevil season 3 happens after Luke Cage season 2, and for that to happen to not even if nobody else, Danny Rand, who has the means and the ability to flush something out. It was a miss. I will give you 100% credit for that, Kwong, because it's a one I have as well.
So somebody should have checked in. Somebody should have shown up.
Someone should have checked in, whether it's checking in with Foggy or Aaron.
If they don't want to spend the money, just say it was a phone call.
Yeah,
just one thing.
Yeah. No, fair. I think that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Okay. Outside of that,
okay, I enjoyed the Foggy family expansion pack we got.
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked the idea of him becoming DA and the reason for him wanting to campaign for DA. I did enjoy that. I felt so bad for Karen. I loved that we got to see Karen's backstory. That was a great episode.
Great episode.
So good. And then I loved, and then my heart broke for her about the fight at the Bulletin. And then again, maybe I'm just dense, but I spent the whole season being like, how's this guy like Poindexter just hitting things so hard that he breaks their skulls? And then the fucking reveal at the end, all die.
And that's where they're clever, is they never actually call him Bullseye throughout that.
No, not once.
Bullseye and his irises.
Yeah.
I like. Again, I could just be dense and not like putting things together at the time, but like
that's what makes it awesome for you is that you're watching it as a non-comic book reading or Daredevil fan. So you put those, whereas the rest of us knew the trailer dropped and we were like,
"Oh yeah, Bullseye!"
Vampire in the Batfleck movie.
Yeah, exactly. But the difference is that was a terrible Bullseye.
Was that Colin Farrell?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
The best part of that is where he flicks the peanut and chokes the woman. The woman's really annoying.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Flicks the peanut out of the seat and chokes her. And it's like, oh, she's asleep. No, I think what was clever is we've never really got a lot of origin about Bullseye.
No.
There's loads of comic books that tease it and talk about it. There's I've got a great series, I think I've talked about it before on the podcast, where Bullseye disappears off the face of the earth. Nobody can figure out where he is. And he's gone to Mexico to pitch in minor league baseball so he can draft his way. He's been given a hit on a major league player, and he works his way through the whole system so he can take the guy out with a pitch.
And that's 100% the background, and that's the background that they kind of give us in the show. You know,
because we see the historically that's what he's
done. We see historically him pitching and being a good base. That's been a part of his backstory for.
So we never really get a name. We never really get, like, there's lots of different things out there, and we don't get that solid. This, like we know Wilson Fisk is Wilson Fisk, Murdoch, we never really got that with Bullseye. So it was interesting that they took this route, and they never technically called him Bullseye. They didn't, they just alluded to it being him, which was clever in itself.
Do we get him? And I know you guys aren't going to tell me, but I want you to tell me. Does he show up in Born Again?
Guess you'll
have to find out soon.
Tell me as you know.
A long time to find out.
Oh, you guys are bad people.
A long time to find out.
Yeah, it's going to take you a while to get there.
Well, I am excited to find out how Wilson Fisk gets out of prison this time. Mainly because I know he becomes the mayor of New York City only because of Comic-Con. Because he did the whole intro to the Marvel TV shows, and he says, "This is hello New York. This is your mayor, Wilson Fisk." So that I know, whatever. But I'm excited to see how that happens. But I didn't.
Never happen in real politics. There's no way a criminal would ever get to that sort of position, or to be in that position of power. Or it just wouldn't happen. I just think it's so unrealistic that we could ever imagine that a criminal would end up in a position of power like that, or people would vote for him to get there. It's crazy.
One podcast about politics. Is it too much to ask for?
That wasn't politics. That was just me pointing out the unrealistic nature of these comic book movies. Sorry, you were talking about.
I didn't know what I was talking about anymore. Oh, wait, nope. Oh, no. That's what I was going to say. well, I didn't realize how this like trope I hated. It's not just Daredevil, but I think it's something that I didn't pick up on that I like viscerally like gut hate it is people being falsely accused. Because my stomach was in knots for most of the season. Just wanting, it all to get worked out because I didn't like Matt Murdock being blamed. I didn't want to, I didn't like Nadeem sniffing around thinking that Matt Murdock was this serial killer or, worked for Wilson Fisk. I didn't like the idea that people thought that Daredevil was killing people. And I wanted it all to get worked out. And it really gave me agita, which is why I think I watched the whole season in 3 days because I needed it to be over.
Needed that.
Resolve.
You need that resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it, and I think that's a valid point to take. The amount of times that Matt Murdock's been disbarred must be some sort of record.
Oh, for the record, so at one point during the season, when the first time Matt sees Foggy again, he I guess steals Foggy's wallet and he gets to prison with Foggy's bar card. It's not a thing.
Don't do this. You're ruining it.
But what they should have done, and I have another issue with the season. What they should have done is we have attorney IDs, which is not a bar card. It's just an attorney ID, and that's what you need to get into prisons. Okay. I don't know why they just didn't say his attorney ID.
No, maybe because that would have been given away too much. There's people out there going, "Oh, so I just need to steal a."
Sure, does any idea of your picture on it?
Yeah.
See, the bar card I think that he steals just has Foggy's name and his bar number.
Oh, maybe.
I think that's probably why they went with that because it was a pictureless ID. Like I would say, Foggy looks nothing like a blind man.
No, it's not a thing. Okay, so then they do the grand jury at the end of the season, as you might remember. Nadeem comes in. They get Nadeem there before his untimely demise, and they actually film it. They film the outside courthouse scenes in New York County this time, as opposed to the Bronx County in seasons 1 and 2. However, it is the wrong courthouse. It is the civil courthouse, not the criminal courthouse. And all of the internal scenes are the Queens County Supreme Court. They're not even the New York County Supreme Court. And I can tell you it's the second floor of the Queens County Supreme Court.
I mean, clearly they need somebody who's going to advise them properly as they move forward. So we're just throwing it out there.
The legal advisor.
Kevin, right? If you need somebody to come on your shows and bring real legal advice, such as make sure that you shoot the right external location and match it to the right internal, and make sure it's in the right place. It's crazy. Before you know it, we'll have actors putting on accents from countries they're not even from and pretending to be somebody that they're not really. So we can't have that.
No, but that's different. It's not like you have Matt Murdock living in Hell's Kitchen with his Welsh accent.
It's let's just throw it out there. It's not that different, is it?
No. It will be different. When you land an accent for the correct thing, you're not putting on an accent for the wrong thing.
Charlie Cox isn't really running about in those sorts of seats. He's hired because...
Just be at the right courthouse. Still, I'm asking. Stop it. You're right there.
Okay, so with that in mind, they weren't in the right courthouse. There's no way that anybody who's a criminal could ever get elected to a position of power. We've got significant issues with Daredevil season 3. What would you give it out of 10?
8.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I gave it the same.
It was so good. I finished it, and then I was actually at a family party on Saturday, and I was telling everybody, "Have you guys watched Daredevil? Watch Daredevil." And then my dad goes, "With Ben Affleck," and I go, "No, TV show."
I like it. I like that your dad knew.
Yeah,
I like that.
My dad knows stuff.
I'm with him. I'm with him on that one. So that's an 8 across the board, much like Iron Fist, and that is a full 3-4 ahead of Luke Cage season 2. Just to bring that up again, Leach.
And I was bullied as well.
Allowance fight.
Luke also texted us during the week, and I thought what you said was so funny that my hatred of Luke Cage season 2 rivals how badly you two want Heroes for Hire.
It's a valid point. And if we've not mentioned this episode, we would really, really love for Marvel to put together a Heroes for Hire TV show. Maybe they could even backdate it, and the Heroes for Hire could actually drop in there and check in on what's happening with Daredevil in season 3. Maybe we could do it.
Oh, how excited I was at the end of the season, the final episode, where Foggy writes on the napkin, Nelson, Murdoch, and Paige. And there was the little part of me that was like, you cannot advertise a law firm with a non-lawyer. But then they said that she's going to be the PI, and I'm okay with that. I don't know if the bar is okay with that, but I'm excited. And I hope that does flow into Born Again.
Into Born Again?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to find out.
Or did I just give me like a little nugget?
They're all in.
Did you get that from McDonald's or KFC?
I can confirm that they all appear in.
That's not.
Yeah.
I know they all appear. I saw the trailer.
That's the nugget for you.
No, I want one of two questions answered.
Okay.
One, does Ben Poindexter appear in Born Again as Bullseye, or is Nelson, Murdoch, and Paige the firm a thing? One of those two. You can pick which one, but I want an answer to one of them.
I think it's got to be the second one, right, Luch?
I think it has to be the second one.
Yeah. It exists.
It does exist.
Okay.
Nelson, Murdoch, and Paige does exist.
Yay.
Okay. So I managed to catch Stranger Things First Shadow. I caught it on stage in London. Luch, you've seen it in New York?
I did.
Yeah. Do they have a giant ship on stage?
They did?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
This show is impressive, and it just shows the evolution of theatre, that some of the stuff that they do in this show is out of this world. I mean, special effects where you randomly have somebody talking on stage and then they're floating. And you're like, but there's no wires. I felt like I was like in the 1800s and there was a magician there. I was just like, how are they doing this? It's magic. But absolutely fantastic. The special effects, the whole thing. The story itself, brilliant. When did this come out?
This came out about, I want to say it was about 18 months ago, I think is when it came out.
And it is a perfect companion piece to Stranger Things, the final season.
But I will, I know Mel hasn't seen it, but now that you've seen the stage show, do you think that season 5 makes a little bit more sense?
I mean, I didn't think season 5 didn't make sense. What I see from seeing the stage show is that companion piece. It fits in and fills in and jigsaw puzzles, probably on the edge of the picture that we didn't need. Right, from season 5, we got the main picture, and this is just filling in a little corner in one side of the universe. I think it was really well done. I think the way the characters are portrayed is absolutely fantastic. I mean, there's a line, is there not a line, I'm pretty sure, where Hop at one point speaks to Steve, and he says, I'm sure he says something like, I know what it was like to be you, and Steve like rolls his eyes. And then you watch this stage show, and this is not a spoiler in any way, shape, or form, but Hopper is Steve. Like, in high school, he is Steve. Like, everything about him is he is Steve the Hare Harrington. You get that.
You're 100% right. He's kind of the bad boy, but not like the sharpest, but also not like the most popular either. He's kind of somewhere in between. Although Steve was, I think, the most popular until Billy, I guess, Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the show. It has. You're 100% right. I'm not someone who's seen a ton of Broadway. I've seen a handful of shows a few times. I've seen Rent a few times. I've seen The Lion King. But I'd say that for me, production value, I guess is the term you'd use, is spectacular.
Yeah.
I would put it up there with The Cursed Child from Harry Potter. I think it's maybe not to the, if Cursed Child is up here, First Shadow is like quite a bit below. It's not as big and grandiose, but is a hell of a production.
Yeah, and story wise, like, I think it's so much fun. The way that they explore the evolution of the characters and the relationships. Basically, it's the parents, a lot of the characters that we know in high school. So you get to see how these relationships. You get the answer to how Ted ends up with such an amazing wife.
Yeah,
you get that answer. You see it unfold on stage, and you're like, it's brilliant. It's brilliantly done. It's lots of fun. They play into it. But it just shows me. It shows that the Duffer Brothers knew what was happening. The way that the some parts of the story are explained, the pieces it fills in, the way it references the stuff that we saw in season 5. So there's no spoilers really. If you've seen season 5, you know that they talk about the cave and stuff. It backfills some of that information. You get a little bit more around that, and you think, oh, that's clever. I like what you've done there. So yeah, particularly good. But it also shows that there's more before the events of Stranger Things, and before the events of First Shadow.
Yeah.
It's this stuff that happened before that.
It continues to open that door to that universe. Yeah. And there's more stories, there's more things to explore. They haven't been just closed off. They can go in a couple of different directions.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Mallory, go watch it when you get a chance.
I heard that they're actually going to film it and release it.
Oh, okay. That'll be interesting.
Something I feel like they should have done before season 5, just throwing that out there. Yeah, that's probably something they could have done.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I'd still go see it on stage because it is it's a fantastic production.
I'm a big Broadway person.
Well, it'd be the type of thing that you'd be like, I've got time tonight on a Thursday evening. What's going on? Oh,
I probably should do that more often. I did see back-to-back shows last week, and then I have a show coming up on the 8th, and then I'm back-to-back in April. So, why not?
Why not just throw another one? I mean, if you only got that one show coming up, then you should probably just back-to-back that, so you're going hardcore.
Fair.
Okay, so I was thinking about this. Luke sent a message earlier, have we got topics for this week? And before I'd even gone to the sheet and had a look at topics, I thought, I've got a question for you. So, which franchise has you most excited in 2026 and why? Now, before I let you dive into that question, I'm going to give you some surrounding information around this. Star Wars, we have Mandalorian and Grogu. That's coming out in May. We have Maul Shadow Lord, the animated series, which is coming out in April. And we have Ahsoka Season 2, which is due to drop in Q4, apparently. We also have Zero Company, which is a game, a Command & Conquer XCOM style game, based around the Clone Wars, where you'll get to control troops and things like that. So we've got that coming from the Star Wars universe. Marvel is, I didn't realize quite how much Marvel stuff was coming out this year, but we've got Spider-Man Brand New Day in July. We've got Doomsday, obviously. We've got Wonder Man out already. X-Men 97 is coming out in the summer. Daredevil Born Again 2 in March. Vision Quest in Q4. The Punisher special. We also have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2, Eyes of Wakanda Season 2, and the Wolverine game, all coming out this year. So there's lots going on there. DC, we have Supergirl, Clayface, Lanterns, Crypto Saves the Day, which is an animated show that's going to be on YouTube.
That's awesome.
And, right, it does sound awesome, it does. And Batman Nightfall, which is a 3-part animated series that's coming out towards the end of the year, and it's all about how Bane, that goes through that whole process, breaks Batman's back, and then Batman has to bring himself back to that. And a new Lego Batman game. Right? So they're the 3 franchises that I'm asking this question about. Which are you most excited for and why?
I mean, I feel like this is going to be a default answer, but I'm going to give it because probably for a reason that you're not going to expect. I think it's Marvel, and not just because of Doomsday and Brand New Day, which I think I'm really excited to see Spider-Man because it's getting back to the core. It's getting back to him being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and kind of taking on, kind of the lower level stuff. But honestly, the thing that I'm really excited about, because I've been really into gaming lately, I've been busting out my PlayStation. I'm really excited for that Wolf 3K because the the studio that's putting out the Wolverine game is the same studio that's put out the 2 Spider-Man games, as well as the Miles Morales one. And that world that they've done, the combat style, everything about that, I just think it plays so well into the Wolverine character. And it's going to be like I think it's an M18 or an R-rated game. So it's going to be the blood that there should be in a Wolverine type game. And I'm really excited for that. If I could pre-order it already, I would be. I don't think it's available yet for pre-order, but there is so many good games coming out this year, whether it's Grand Theft Auto 6, the Wolverine game, Fable's coming back out of a long hiatus of being away. For those Xbox fans, it's now going to be on PlayStation and PC, FYI. I'm going to have to give it to Marvel. Yeah, I want that Wolverine game so bad.
I understand, and it does look amazing. I'm playing through Spider-Man 2 at the moment, so we've had Spider-Man, the Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2, where we get the 2 of them. So I'm literally playing through that. In fact, Jack,
I'm about halfway through Spider-Man 2. I kind of took a pause for a little while.
Yeah, me too. So it was a game I got with my PlayStation 5. I installed, played for about 10 minutes, and then never went back to. I've really enjoyed it this weekend, swinging through New York City, looking for Mal's apartment, which I have noted is very close to Avengers Tower on the Marvel game. So the blocks aren't as big; they don't have as many buildings on, but it's definitely around your area.
So, is what you're saying then? If I was living in my apartment during the first Avengers, it probably would have gotten destroyed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Amazing. Love that for me.
Yeah, no worries. And then it would have been rebuilt as Avengers Tower.
The apartments I lived in the Spider-Man game, just to see if I could find like my building. And my one that I lived on York Avenue, I couldn't find. They didn't have that one.
Yeah. It was something I was just randomly swinging about, and I thought, why not have it? And I was like, oh my god, Avengers Tower is right there. Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally understand. I can appreciate Spider-Man's going to be exciting. We still haven't got a trailer from it though. We hoped we would get a trailer.
No, I don't think. I was expecting one for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Although, listen, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Out of the 3, it's, for me, I would rate it as Marvel number 1 for obvious reasons. Number 2 would be Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Again, I think for obvious reasons, Mandalorian and Grogu. That was a great trailer.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have the Razor Crest back. And number 3 would be DC, because DC, I will not show love to until they give me some consistently good products. Yeah. I enjoyed that Superman movie. I'm excited for where they're going to go with Supergirl. The fact that we have Coach Taylor as a Green Lantern, I'm excited about that to a certain degree. But again, I'm withholding judgment because it's... I think if DC can hit with Supergirl and Lanterns, Clayface, I'm not really excited about. I don't even really know why they're doing that movie, but that's just my own opinion. But if they can hit with those 3, I'll be like, okay, I'll start giving DC more of a chance.
Yeah.
That's
just because we like to do tangents on this show, there might be a Friday Night Lights reboot coming. Apparently, there's been conversations, and I mean, well, this is where you're like, if you can't do it without Coach,
you have to have Coach Taylor.
Yeah, and I think if you do it, you call it Saturday Night Lights, and you follow him through college. I mean, it's there to be done, right? That's what you do. Or do you bring back some of the older players as? Do we get what's his name, the fullback? What was he called in the show?
Oh, well, that's what's his name?
Yeah, him. But yeah, and he calls all the quarterbacks by their numbers. Do we get him coming back as a head coach? Is that the point that we're at, where he comes in at the school's run? I don't know. I've got loads of ideas for it. Anyway, Mallory, which franchise and why?
So it's also Marvel, but probably not for the reason that just I'm rewatching all the Marvel stuff. I'm very excited for Vision Quest. I've really enjoyed the WandaVision, Addeth All Along. I know, and this ends that trilogy, so I'm excited to see how it ends. But also, I'm so far behind on my Star Wars. I can't even be excited about things coming out because I don't even know if I watched the second season of The Mandalorian. I might have. Like, I don't even know. Like, because it's been so long. Like, the last thing I remember is Luke Skywalker coming. Was that end of season 1 or end of season 2?
Season 1.
Yeah. I don't think I ever watched season 2. Like, I'm so
superly CGI.
Yeah.
I'm so far behind that I cannot get excited about Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Eventually I'll catch up, but I need time. And it won't be.
I mean, what else have you got to watch?
Exactly. What else? And by the way, Max, it's Tim Riggins.
Tim Riggins. It's all about Tim Riggins.
And then kind of like what Luge said, it is hard to get excited about DC stuff when they've built you up and knocked you down so often for so long.
I mean, the greatest thing is they've not built us up and knocked us down. They built themselves up and knocked themselves down. Like, they build something and they're like, what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to just chop it off at the knees and start all over again. And you're like, but you've got an amazing Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. You've got the 3. Why are you restarting again when you've literally got the 3 main characters you need? You've got great people and they're all signed to like, oh, we're just going to start again.
But I think they've also built us up because like they gave us a great Wonder Woman movie. And we're like, yes, like you guys are actually on a good trajectory. And then they do Wonder Woman 1984 and then they do the same thing with Aquaman. Aquaman was a great movie. Not great. It was a good movie. I would say it's a very good movie, the first one. And then they completely ruined the second one. They should have just scrapped the second one when all the stuff went down.
Yeah.
So they're even building us up and knocking us down.
And I mean, I agree with you, Mel. They had built us up because they also gave us a really good Superman movie. And then they gave us Batman v Superman. And that just had me all kinds of excited because you got Batfleck finally. He's the big old chin coming into play. And then Batman just kills people. Like, he's killing people with the...
But I mean, even to the point where they promise us a Batgirl that, for all intents and purposes, everybody who's seen has told you is amazing, and then he just shelved it, used it as a tax write-off. So yeah, I get your point. It
is definitely a far number 3, and for me, it's Marvel, Star Wars.
So my point there would be that of all of them, that's got the greater upside.
I agree.
Like if they can deliver on Supergirl, and as you said, and if they can deliver on Lanterns, they could be building something really, really special. And
it's just whether or not they'll let it go to fruition, though. Like that's the problem that they have. I feel like they just get in their own way.
And the problem they've got here is we know the Netflix deal's going through, right? So where do we fit in that circle? You know, what happens is then do they continue to just like James Gunn build this universe? Meanwhile, Matt Reeves is both building his Batman.
And that's where I feel like they've had their problem because give Marvel has had their issues. We've talked about it, but for the last 16 years, 15 years, somewhere thereabouts, there's really been one kind of guy in charge. Yeah, I've had the MTU, they had this MCU, but for the last while now, for at least the last 6 years, and we can make an argument for the last decade, it's really been the Kevin Feige show.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the Kevin Feige show since Iron Man, and we've had this TV universe. Yeah, we've had this TV universe, but he's also, had no problems trimming those timelines, to quote the TBA.
Almost 20 years of one guy kind of leading the show. Yeah. You can't say that about DC. You had who's Zachary
Snyder.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder doing it. Now you got James Gunn, who was before him. There hasn't been a clear, coherent voice, and as we've also talked about, Marvel has taken people who were very into comic books and or comic book writers themselves and helped them kind of write these movies. And DC's like, we have all these writers. Let's completely ignore them and just bring in somebody random to write, this Batman movie.
It's almost like they've got this idea that they go, we've got this story, but we don't want to see that on the page. People have read the comic book, so we don't want to give them that movie because that won't make money. Whereas actually, it will. Because first of all, it was a great comic book, right? If it's gone down in lore, it's a great comic book and it's intrigued people enough. So those fans will show up, even if to criticize and moan about it, but they will show up, much like Watchmen. They will show up to see it. They will go to see it. But also then what you'll have is generic fan off the street who's not read the comic book, who will go and see it and will probably be impressed because they know that story's already been written in the comic book. It's been written to a decent standard. So it is things like, we've said it for the longest time in personal conversations. Warner Brothers Animation delivers far superior stuff to what to what Marvel has.
Yeah, the animated hits hard every single time.
And it's because
I can't remember something that I feel like really missed.
And it's because they take the comic books and make them into animated movies. It's there. Don't fuck with it. We've got the storyline. We've got everything we need. We've got the panels. Let's animate the panels. Let's go for it.
The only thing they changed in Watchmen was like the last 5 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
We changed the ending a little bit, but I think the ending still make sense. On the screen.
I mean, it didn't make sense in the book, so.
So I think they kind of corrected it. I think they actually made it better in some ways on the screen.
But that was Snyder as well, wasn't it?
It was.
That was Zack Snyder as well.
That was Zack Snyder. But yeah, I mean, that's one movie where you can take the graphic novel and have the movie on your TV and literally pretty much follow along.
I mean,
almost panel for panel.
That's been the argument about Zack Snyder, or my argument about Zack Snyder for the longest time, is he's one of the best cinematographers in Hollywood. And he shoots beautiful, beautiful pictures. His issue has always been story. I love Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is such a fantastic movie. It's beautiful. It's amazing. The storyline and everything that runs through it. And it never got the success it deserved. But again, it's because it's that Snyder effect. It's maybe too complex for what he visually presented on screen. So, for me, DC's got the most upside, as I was saying. I am excited for the Star Wars universe. Am I getting burnt out with Marvel? I don't know. But I'll see all of them. Do you know what I mean? And we'll come back at the end of the year and we'll go, Supergirl was bang average. Clayface was a waste of time. Lanterns was...
Try to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Lanterns was... this is my prediction. Supergirl, okay. Clayface, awful. Lanterns, decent. Crypto, best thing DC produces all year. Right? Then we've got Mandalorian Grogu, loads of fun. An adventure in the Star Wars universe. There is a second trailer. Have you seen it, Luke? I know Mallory hasn't. I'm not even asking. The second trailer gives you a lot more storyline and other characters. Zeb from Rebels in live action. I was quite excited for that. I think that'll be loads of fun. I think Maul Shadowlord will be fun. I think Ahsoka will be decent. Spider-Man is going to be great as a Spider-Man film. I'm not sure how it's going to rank against the wider Marvel pictures. Doomsday, we'll see. Wonder Man was amazing. X-Men 97 is going to be more of the same. Daredevil, Born Again. Please give me more episodes like the random one with, no spoilers here, but the random episode with the bank robbery and Miss Marvel's dad. Like, of all the characters to cross over from all the other TV shows, Miss Marvel's dad.
And we already know that Jessica Jones is going to be in season 2.
We do. Which is good and bad. Because Jessica Jones brings a darkness with her that season 1 touched on and then avoided.
But she's also grown up. Like, it's not like it's been 10 years.
You're right. And that's what I wanted to say before. Is it a reboot? Is Born Again a reboot? Or is it an evolution?
What's the difference? It's still rebooting a show.
No, I mean, a reboot implies, I don't know, a reboot to me implies that they've taken some stuff but ignored others. Whereas for me, Born Again is Daredevil just again later on.
See, Scream 6, I think, discussed the difference. And there could be a lot of connection. I also think Jay and Silent Bob reboot also.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot definitely discusses a lot of this. Like they have the whole...
But yeah, I don't think it's a reboot because I feel like a reboot would be they change the actors, they change the stuff.
Not necessarily. You can reboot. The Saved by the Bell was a reboot.
That was awful. Please don't put it in.
It's coming out next week.
Yeah.
Scrub, it's a reboot.
Did you see that they have fully confirmed that the janitor is back?
Yeah.
Wait.
And Jordan.
Yeah. And sorry, just going back to that, Punisher special, I think will be fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really good. No. So they're my predictions on what's coming. And the Wolverine game, much like you, so excited for. You've got the engine there. Why not use it?
I'm not sure if you saw the trailer, but you're in Canada.
Yeah.
You're in Tokyo. And you go to not Kunlun. Madripoor.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The land of the outlaws, effectively, isn't it? Yeah, it's the Okay.
Speaking of games, did you guys see the other news that dropped this week?
Go on.
On Nintendo Switch, February 27th, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green are being released.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
We are playing Pokemon. It's not Go, but it's Pokemon whatever at the moment. In this house, it's the Switch version of Pokemon Go, to the point where like the Pokeballs and everything, but it's in a Pokemon universe.
That's the I played Pokemon was on Game Boy.
Well, there we go.
Well, it's basically the same thing. It's just I think these versions have like the next edition. It's not all of them, but it's the 150 plus like the next clumping.
I'm just really tempted to like just go and buy one of those. You must get the adverts from the sticks with like 30,000 games on. I mean, there's games that I want to play from my youth that I know will be awful when I play them now, but I had so much fun playing when I was younger. Yeah.
And I have one more piece of news, a potential news. It's a rumor.
Go on.
It's a Doctor Who rumor.
Go.
So, HBO Max, I guess, is coming to the UK.
March 26th or something like that.
So BBC has already started working on shows with HBO to create some new stuff. So there's a possibility that Doctor Who is going to have a connection with HBO because obviously
there's Disney here.
Oh, they ended that.
Well, that's because it was on HBO.
Yeah, but no, it was just streaming on HBO. They didn't have like a relationship, but they'll do something similar with HBO where they get budget from them
and they will make all the fight scenes so dark that you can't actually see what's happening.
That'd be very weird for Doctor Who.
I did see the news about Winona Ryder. Did you see that?
I did.
She's joined the cast of Wednesday season 3. It was only a matter of time, wasn't it? It was only a matter of time before she was added to that list. So, yes. Excellent times. Okay, have you guys got anything more to add?
No, I don't think so. I think, the only thing I would say is that I'm very excited for Scrubs, which does, I believe, air on the 25th.
Okay.
I've been rewatching the show. I've taken a pause from Star Trek: The Next Generation last couple of weeks.
So you can Scrubs it up.
Swiping, because I've been binging hard on Scrubs. I think I'm into season 4 now. There's no way I'm going to finish it before Wednesday. But I just wanted to kind of put myself back into that world and, CJD and Turk and Elliot and all that. And just, I don't know, I'm excited. I'm excited for 2 days from now.
Excellent. So, by the time that this drops, you'll be Scrubs will have aired. So, let us know what you think and what you thought of Scrubs. Is it episode 1 or are they dropping all 13 at the same time? It's only 13 episodes, right? Okay.
It's actually online, ABC.
Yeah.
I think at 8 o'clock. So I think they're dropping the first 2 of 10 episodes.
Excellent. All right. Scrubs it is. Okay. I guess that's us. You guys go back to shoveling snow. Again.
I don't need to. I live in an apartment.
I need to.
Leech also needs to make sure everybody else's apartment gets shoveled.
Thankfully, I have guys. And, all my guys put in a hell of a lot of work today, so kudos to all the people who work in my buildings, at least. They did a great job.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much for listening. This was episode 30 of Not Quite Nerds, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.